Hello everyone, my name is Noah St. John and welcome to Get Unstuck Now. This is your instruction manual for success and freedom as a home-based entrepreneur. So I'm delighted to welcome you here today and very excited to share these secrets with you. And tonight we're going to be talking about one of the huge sticking points for so many home-based entrepreneurs, and that is leveraging your time. So my name is Noah St. John. My clients call me the Accelerated Results Guy because I help people get accelerated results to accelerate the results in their lives. They also call me the Implementation Guy because I teach you how to get more out of everything that you already have and everything that you're already doing. So what you're going to be finding as we go through these next 4 modules, you're going to be finding that not only is this going to simplify your life, it's going to get you some really amazing results when you take the steps that I outline here in these next 4 modules. So it's really a pleasure and a privilege to welcome you here today to the first module of Get Unstuck Now, which is leveraging your time. So very, very thrilled and excited to share these secrets with you. For those of you who are attending live, you can type your questions in on the question box right there. If you're on the webinar, if you're dialing in, you will have the chance to ask me also questions in our live Q&A calls that are going to be coming up. I will be announcing the dates and times of those events very shortly. So just pay attention to your members area. By the way, we did have a few technical issues with our members area, our Get Unstuck Now online members area, but everything is operating great and perfectly right now, so everything is there. And all of you received an email with the instructions for getting your executive summary and action guide, which will be going over tonight for Module 1. They are also now in your members area in that link that I sent you right when you signed up. So everything is right there. It's working great. And so very excited. Okay, so here we go, and let's get started. All right, so first, the first thing I want to do is start out with a story. Now, this is a 2,600-year-old story, and it's by someone that everyone has heard of and you're all familiar with, and it's a slave named Aesop. Aesop was a slave who was born approximately 2,600 years ago, and of course we're all familiar with his fables that have stood the test of time. And the fable that I want to read to you tonight is called The Wolf in Sheep's Clothing. A hungry wolf stalked a flock of sheep, but couldn't grab one as his next meal because the shepherd protected them from predators in order to feed his own family. Having a plan, the wolf found a discarded sheepskin, placed it over his fur, and crawled into the middle of the flock without the shepherd noticing. Instead of pouncing on the nearest lamb and making his escape, however, the wolf decided to wait until nighttime, when the flock was safely locked up and the shepherd was eating supper with his family. He thought he'd get the pick of the flock, enjoy a delicious meal, and slip away unseen. But that evening, the shepherd decided to have a feast with his family and friends from the neighboring village. He went to the sheep pen in the dark, reached in, and grabbed the first sheep he could put his hands on. The shepherd grabbed the wolf, and the wolf turned out to be dinner. The moral of the fable is to strike while the iron is hot. Instead of striking while the iron was hot, the wolf creatively avoided having a meal and became the meal himself. That happens every day in business. The business moral is that a good plan executed today, not tomorrow, not next month, not next year, is better than a perfect plan that's too late. Business and life is about progress, not perfection. The only reason you'll feel overwhelmed is because you want to be perfect, or you're comparing your results to mine or someone else's. Focus only on your own progress. Strike while the iron is hot. Remember this quote, and I want you to write this down. A good plan executed today is far better than a perfect plan executed too late. So that is the moral for today. That's the overarching theme that I want you to remember, to strike while the iron is hot. Now, many of you know my story, so I'm just going to go over it very briefly. Many of you know that when I was in business, I started out, I was $35,000 in debt working out of my parents' basement. And the low point came when I was in a bookstore looking at a book I wanted, and I looked at my wallet. I realized I did not have enough money to buy a book that I wanted in a bookstore, and I had to ask my parents to buy it for me. Well, I made a decision and a determination at that moment that I wasn't going to accept it anymore. And 24 months later, I ended up with a six-figure book deal from one of the world's largest publishers. I had testimonials from people like Stephen Covey and Harvey Mackay. I became a best-selling author myself, and I found myself speaking in places like Las Vegas, Palm Springs, and Australia to audiences of over 1,000. I paid cash for my Caribbean honeymoon, and I no longer have to stress for money. Now, of course, my point in all telling you this is that this all happened because I instituted and used the strategies that I will share with you tonight and over the next 4 modules of Get Unstuck Now. So there's no question that if you follow these steps, you can have, the same or better results than me. Okay, so, and many of you have seen this graphic before. I've been in all of these media, the Parade magazine, Women's World, CNN, ABC. I've been in all of these media. My books have been translated into 12 languages. You see a picture of me there with Jack Canfield, who wrote the foreword for my latest book, The Secret Code of Success, and you can see some of my books in other languages there: German, Italian, Japanese, French, Portuguese, and Mandarin Chinese. Then keynotes, executive coaching, high-end masterminds, events all around the world. So my point in telling you all of this is not to brag or say how great I am. Quite the contrary. It's to show you that none of that would have happened if I had waited until I was ready. It's very clear that, if I had waited until things were perfect, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. You wouldn't be listening to me. So it's very clear that we don't want to wait for perfection. And believe me, that's something I still have to deal with every single day, wanting things to be perfect. So believe me, I've dealt with this problem head on. So as we've talked about, and as most of you have heard when you sign up for this program, the number one problem facing home-based entrepreneurs is that most of them feel stuck. We talked about the 3 levels of entrepreneurial stuckness, and I'll just go over them again briefly. That is crawling, walking, and running. Crawling means you have no customers or team members, meaning your pain is no profit. Walking is not enough customers or team members. Maybe you have a few, but your pain there is not much profit. And then the running level. That's where you're trading time for money, and your pain is no time freedom. So that's really no life. You may have a lot of money, but you don't have a life. And then we look at the 4 types of entrepreneurial stuckness: time stuck, energy stuck, relationship stuck, and money stuck. And time means I don't have the time to do the things I want. Energy means stuck means I don't have the energy to do the things I want. Relationship stuck, I don't have the right people in place to do the things I want. And money stuck, I don't have the money to do the things I want. So tonight we're going to be looking at this aspect, the time stuck, and then next module we'll look at energy. Module 3 is relationships, and Module 4 is money. So you definitely want to stick around for all 4 modules so that you get the full impact of this program. And we also looked at the result of stuckness. When you have a lack of energy, it leads to high stress, lack of enjoyment of your job, your life. What you used to love doing, you probably don't like it anymore. Lack of energy leads to resentment, bitterness, anger, things like that. Lack of relationships or good quality relationships leads to small results and limited success. And lack of money leads to small influence and really just a lack of freedom. The way that I look at money is a tool for freedom, like going on a Caribbean honeymoon and paying cash for it. That was freedom. If I didn't have money, or I suppose you could say enough credit, I couldn't have done that. I just enjoyed paying cash for that. It was really awesome. I got to swim with dolphins and sea turtles, and it was really, really great. And it just was nice knowing that I had the freedom to do that. And believe me, there's been many times in my life, like that time in the bookstore when I didn't have the freedom to buy a book. So clearly, I know what that's like. So if that sounds familiar to you, believe me, you're not alone. All right, so in this module, we're going to look at and focus on how to get time unstuck. So just looking at this the 4 elements, I call it, the 4 elements of financial freedom, and we're going to be looking at this all throughout this program. I want you to really focus on and ask yourself this question and write it down. What is it costing you to not have this in place right now? Whether you're time stuck, energy stuck, relationship stuck, or money stuck. In fact, I want you, for those of you who are on the call right now, on the program, go ahead and type that in right now. What do you think it's costing you to not have that in place right now? Okay, and I can, let's see, I can see your questions as they come in. So go ahead and write that in. What do you think that's costing you to not have time freedom, energy freedom, relationships, the relationships that you really need and want to grow your business, and of course, the money freedom. And you can let me know, by the way, which one you feel most stuck in. We're going to be looking at that in just a minute or two. So, but what's it costing you to have that, not have that really in place right now? Whether it's one or 2 things. All right, let's see what some of you have written here. Lots of money and success and happiness, my peace of mind, my well-being. I have limited choices. Okay, so yeah, you can see that there's no question that's going to be costing you. But I really want you to also, for those of you who are watching this and really hearing this program, I want you to write down a specific number. What is that monetary toll? What's the number of dollars that it's costing you every year to not have this in place? And then I want you to write the emotional toll. Now, the real reason I want you to do this is because I want you to gain leverage on yourself. We're going to be talking a lot about leverage throughout this program. And I want you to remember that you can be making lots of money and still be stuck. Some of you have heard the story of that fellow who I coached. He came to me and he said he was stuck because he was only making $4 million a year. And he had been plateaued, his company had been plateaued at $4 million in revenues for 4 years. So he really was stuck, making what most people would consider a lot of money, but yet he knew he was capable of doing much more. And working with me as a private client and working through these steps, we were able to take him in 1 year from $4 million in revenue to over $20 million using these tools, using the same tools that I'll be teaching you in this program. So there's no question that these can truly change your life. All right, so let me show you how to get the most from this program. I really want you to get 10, 20, 30, 50 times more than you invested in this program in terms of time in your life back, money in your bank account, just health, well-being, all the things that you just wrote to me. So first of all, I want you to download and print the action guide and executive summary for each module. In just a few minutes, we're going to go through both of those for Module 1, and as I release each module, you will have that in your members area. Okay, so each of you received those, so go ahead and download. If you haven't already done so, you can do that right now. Download and print the action guide and executive summary. This is an interactive course. This is going to be a course where I show you what to do and you do it. Okay, this is exactly like one of those DVDs that you get, a health DVD or a fitness DVD like P90X, and you put it in and you have to do the workout. I'm going to show you the workout, but I can't go over and do your sit-ups for you. So you want to have everything that you need in front of you. Don't handicap yourself. Don't say, oh, I'll just look at it, and well, then you're not going to get the benefit. You must do the exercises, okay? And that's what I'm saying right here. Number 2, follow the steps I give you, and 3, do the exercises in each module. It's absolutely critical that you do these exercises. This is not a theoretical program. This is not a sit and listen to Noah program. This is a you do it. I am going to give you that step-by-step blueprint. I talked in an article recently about how your business is like a chair. And I wanted to get a new chair for myself, and I went to the office supply store and bought a chair. The only problem was it came in a box. It wasn't together. I had to put it together myself. Well, I'm one of those types of people, one of those strange people that actually enjoys reading instruction manuals. I know a lot of people get freaked out. Oh, I don't want to read it. And I don't understand that, quite honestly. I'm like, well, if somebody went to the trouble to put it together, why would I not do that? It's wasting my time and effort. And time is money, so I mean, it's wasting money too. So I sat down, put all the pieces on the floor, read the instruction manual, and boom, in about 45 minutes had myself a new chair. And the analogy I give is, imagine if I either didn't have an instruction manual or didn't follow it. Well, I might not be sitting in my chair right now, see? So that's what people do. They just say, oh, I'll just figure it out myself or whatever. So my point is, most people were not given this instruction manual. I know I wasn't. That's why I had to spend well over $100,000 to learn these steps. So I'm going to be really saving you a ton of time and money, but you must do the exercises.